Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. It was just announced last week that Tyler Sheridan and Peter Berg are going to be adapting the Call of Duty movie for Paramount Studios. Now, for those of you who don't know, Peter Berg is a director that was once upon a time really hot in the industry. He did movies like The Rundown with The Rock, which is my favorite rock movie of all time. He did that oil movie with Mark Wahlberg, Deepwater Horizon, or something like that, where like he worked on an oil rig and it was based off of a true event. He did the movie of The Brooklyn's Finest about the guy that found the Brooklyn bomber after the marathon explosion with Mark Wahlberg. He did movies like Lone Survivor. He also did Battleship, which isn't that good, and Mile 22, which also wasn't that good. But the guy has a lot of experience doing war films and action films. And for those of you who don't know Taylor Sheridan, I don't know what rock you're living under, but he's done shows like, well, Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, Landman, Tulsa King, Special Ops, Lioness, Mayor of Easttown or Mayor of Kingston, something like that, with Jeremy Renner. He has single-handedly kept Paramount Plus afloat with his incredible content. He's also done movies like Wind River and Hell or High Water and Sicario. The dude's a stud. He could literally pull his pants down and take a shit and it would be considered a good TV show or a good movie. He's just a great writer. Now, he doesn't have the perfect track record. Not a lot of people like his movie that he did with Angelina Jolie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a movie where she was a firefighter and she was battling against like two hitmen or something like that. I've seen it. It was very forgettable. But outside of that, everything else the dude's ever done is incredible. And the reason why I think that this is such a brilliant casting is because on one hand, Peter Berg has his finger on the pulse of war movies. I think Lone Survivor is one of the better ones that we've gotten over the last 500 war movies we've gotten the last 2 decades. He has a good eye for cinematography and how to make things really fun, really bombastic and over the top, but still grounded like The Rundown. I think he's a great director for it, but that can only take you so far. You need a great script, and I think that Taylor Sheridan is a fantastic and fascinating choice. The dude screams patriotism and the American way, like the big American dream. You know, this all started with Yellowstone for him. I mean, he did movies like Sicario, but he didn't really blow up in terms of like getting everything he had an idea about greenlit until Yellowstone came out and just shook the broadcast television world, where it's about this family that owns a ranch on a Yellowstone and they want to kind of not necessarily live off the grid because they pay their taxes and do stuff like that, but they want to do everything themselves. They wanted to, you know, live in this house that their ancestors built and raise cattle on their own farm and sell the meat and do this and raise horses, sell the horses. And they wanted to just do it the American way, living the big dream of doing it all yourself and not working for anybody else. And like every show he puts out, Landman is about the corruption and finding oil in America. And it always just seems like his shows have a pulse on what it means to be an American, essentially. Like he's a very patriotic person, at least in my opinion. I don't know much about the guy outside of the work he does, but the things that he adapts, it seems like he's just a big fan of like the American dream, the American way. And I think if you're gonna make a Call of Duty movie, listen, Call of Duty movies have campaigns. I'm not saying they don't, and they have some really, really memorable campaigns, specifically the Black Ops series. If you're gonna take a game franchise that's predominantly known for dropping a bunch of people in a map, giving them guns, and just letting them shoot each other to death, it's gonna be really hard to take this concept and make it into a movie. It's one of the reasons why Fortnite hasn't been made yet. You could take a movie like Minecraft and create a fun story around it. You can take Uncharted, that's essentially an Indiana Jones movie, and turn it into a live action movie because it's just about a guy going treasure hunting, essentially. Call of Duty is just about shooting the other opponent and getting the most points. There's not really a big story there. So you need somebody that can take these badass motherfuckers in our military and put them on this big bombastic adventure, but also ground them in reality and make us care about them and construct a really fascinating story for this vehicle that Peter Berg is going to direct. You can't just throw people on a map and have them kill each other until the first team that gets to 50 wins. Like, you need to give us a compelling story while also keeping what makes Call of Duty what it is, and that's fast-paced, kinetic action. I spoke a couple months ago about how they turned down Steven Spielberg from making the Call of Duty movie because they were afraid it was just going to be another Saving Private Ryan. You can't make Call of Duty something like Saving Private Ryan and Call of Duty because it's not. That's the furthest thing from what Call of Duty actually is. It's more of like an arcade shooter where it has to be fast, kinetic, it has to be super bombastic. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger wielding a Gatling gun, running through buildings, killing mercenaries. Like, you need to have almost like an 80s cheesy feel to it for it to be good. So I understand why they turned down Steven Spielberg, but I think that this is really fascinating. And it's funny because Tyler Sheridan actually just signed a deal with Universal where he's going to leave Paramount to go work for them. And this is kind of the last thing he's doing, is getting this Call of Duty franchise off the ground for Paramount before he leaves. I'm really so fascinated to see this guy that makes shows like Yellowstone Yellowstone make a Call of Duty movie. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this news is exciting that he's doing it? Let's talk about it down in the comments below. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you next time.